65, 3:45 to go in our overtime period. Tony Campbell ejected. Reinhardt Eagles, Campbell, spin move down in the low post. This is off the mark.
That was a great move there. Just left it a little short. So now all of your game plan stuff goes out the window in overtime. Everything is just about trying to see if you can scratch and claw, string together enough possessions and see what you can do. You see the defense tightening up on both sides.
Stone floats it across to Crowder. She'll run the floor.
If you're a fan of the Reinhardt Eagles, you're rightfully outraged that would happen, but if you're a fan of the Tennessee Wesleyan Bulldogs, you almost have a new lease on life, right? You feel like your team is given a lifeline and you want to see them take advantage of it.
Farr gets hit with the illegal screen.
As this game has gotten tight for Reinhardt, it's been a lot of one-on-one play for them. You do want to see if they can get a few nice passes, maybe try to hit the ball in the post. And again, another one-on-one play there. Campbell trying to force the issue. She hasn't been able to get a field goal to drop so far in this game, but she's remaining aggressive, getting 2 feet in the paint and forcing the issue and getting the contact. Game remaining deadlocked at 66. All of a sudden, we have a barn burner on our hands.
It felt like a really good game way back in the first period, but this has become quite the matchup.
And Tennessee Wesleyan did a nice job of just hanging around. But then after that chaotic scene, able to put themselves in position to steal a win here at Reinhardt.
Bulldogs for 3, it's short. Shot clock buzzes. Now the Eagles to respond. 2.25 minutes to play in overtime.
And Campbell's taking it upon herself as this game has gotten tight. She's been the one that's taking shots late, creating the offense.
From mid-range and the violation.
Right there, Lavery dipping deep into her bag right there, trying to find some space. Able to draw the contact.
Yes. 149 in overtime.
Again, you know, I hate to keep going back to it, but I'm just really not sure what that whole thing was about. Just really allowing Tennessee Wesleyan to get themselves back into the ball game. One tech in a situation like that, okay, that's fine. I get it. Because you can say, okay, he may have been out of the coach's box. He was screaming across the court. Okay, one technical foul, I understand. But the double tech for the ejection and then an additional tech as he's going to the bench, I'm just not really sure that that was the best way to handle that situation for the officiator.
Handoff. Crowder to the back door. It's blocked. Big time smack. Van Dyke making the play defensively.
Again, another tremendous play for her. She has been very effective off the bench, stepping up yet again. She's been a load down there defensively. Bulldogs, they have not been able to get anything easy in the paint with her in the game.
Stone gets around Campbell initially, and the violation.
So was there contact? Yes, there was contact, but a player kind of moving to the side, contorting their body, almost like a bailout there. It seemed like she went up in the air without much of a plan. But again, gifting her some free throws. I don't want to make it sound like I'm, just ragging on the officiating crew, but there have really been some curious calls as this game has gotten down to the stretch.
Stone, 75% at the stripe this season, gets her first to make it a 1-point game in OT.
Bulldogs, they've hung around all night. A lot of credit to them. They again put pressure on the Eagles, tying this one up.
Here come the Reinhardt Eagles. Deadlocked at 68 with 65 seconds left in overtime. Campbell pitched it across. Julia Kraft back to Campbell on the wing. It's Simpson. Heavily defended. Straight ahead is Powell. Now it's Crowder who's on top of Campbell. She's got a lot of room to shoot the three, and it bounces out on her. Tennessee Wesleyan Bulldogs pulling the ball in the travel against Stone.
Campbell's continuing to be aggressive here. Campbell's continuing to be aggressive. She's been the one that's taken it upon herself down the stretch.
Off the mark, Bulldogs, Stone. Running the floor against Campbell. Ball's loose. She regathers the orange. Wanted to pull up from mid-range. Crowder pitched it across to Stone. Shot clock's got 20, 40 game. Stone. 42% from the floor this season. 15.5 points per game. She's been cooking tonight. Stone against Lavery from the elbow out to the straightaway. Crowder shoves, fires from mid-range, and it's short. Lavery with a rebound. Shot clock is off, 20 seconds. Campbell fighting for her life in a 68-all matchup. And the whistle.
And the Bulldogs immediately trapping Campbell there. Trying to force her into a turnover, but just a little bit too aggressive. It seems pretty fitting that she's the one to go up and shoot these free throws, because in the fourth quarter and overtime, she's been by far the most aggressive player on the floor, probably on both ends. Now she has a chance to try to put the Eagles back on top.
68 all, 15.6 to play. Yes.
She went 1 for 2 earlier in overtime. We'll see what she can do here.
Campbell, perfect at the line. 70-68, Reinhardt in the lead in OT with 15.6 seconds on the clock in North Georgia. Lorenzo, how about that performance?
Yeah, and it hasn't been the best shooting night from her. She hasn't been able to get a lot going from the field, but she stayed aggressive, driving, getting into the paint, trying to create shots for herself and others down the stretch. And that's very important, because as games get tight, there can be that element of nervousness there. No one wanting to be the one to make a mistake, no one wanting to be the one to miss a shot. Campbell's taken all those bullets for her team, and right there, again, very fitting that she's the one to put them on top. Now, if you're the Bulldogs, you don't want to try to take a bad shot here. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you feel like you have to go for the win. Now, if you get a good look from 3, take it. But you only need 2 to tie the ball game back up. You don't want to take a bad shot. You want to try to get to the best look that you can.
14 seconds. TWU from the elbow. She passes out to the touchline. Here's from 3 on the left wing. No. Bulldogs get it back. Trying to fire from down on the edge of the mid-post, and the violation with 2.5 on the clock.
Now it's a nice take there. Great offensive rebound by Lindsay, being very aggressive against Simpson and drawing the contact.
Lindsay is one of the worst free throw shooters that starts in this rotation. 58% at the stripe this season.
And you add to that the pressure of this only being a 2-point game with 2 seconds remaining. A lot on her plate right now.
It is loud. Yes. Clutch time. 2.5 seconds to tie us at 70. Lindsay.
And much respect to the Reinhardt faithful making that difficult. They let their voices be heard.
Coach, what do you want?
They deserve, again, all the credit for that one. Everyone on their feet, stomping on the bleachers, really making it difficult. Unfortunate for the Bulldogs, now trailing by 1.
70-69, 2.5 seconds to play. It all comes down to this.
Tennessee Wesleyan, you want to try to force a turnover off the inbound. You don't have enough time to trap and see if you can get one that way. So you want to try to force a turnover off the inbound. If you can't get it inbound still, you have to foul as quick as you can with as minimal time coming off the clock as possible, just to give yourself a chance to maybe get a heave up at the end of the game.
2.5 seconds to go in overtime. 70-69, Reinhardt in the lead. They'll have the ball and they'll inbound from right alongside us. Gabriel Schrei, Lorenzo Robinson here with me, College Hoops on the Southeast Sports Network.
Now Nia Moon coming in the game as the inbounder. She's a very skilled passer. You just want to try to get it in cleanly. At this point in the game, you do want to maybe try to get it to one of your better free throw shooters, but you want to get a clean inbounds pass in, get the ball in play.
Clock's running. Campbell scrambling for the ball. It's loose on the boardwalk, and the buzzer sounds. Reinhardt has done it. Reinhardt wins in OT. They hang on after an improbable near comeback and upset by the Tennessee Wesleyan Bulldogs in Waleska, Georgia.
The pass was a little bit off the mark there, and Campbell wasn't able to recover, but that may have been for the better for Reinhardt. That ball being loose, that clock is running, only 2 seconds on the clock. Bulldogs unable to recover it. And this turned out to be a great game.
This turned out to be a very good game. That'll do it for us. Any final thoughts before we send folks on their way from overtime?
Watching the game, if you were watching the game at the time with the whole situation with Coach Campbell and the ref, you may say, man, the Bulldogs got very lucky to be able to get back into the game. But again, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Tennessee Wesleyan still had to knock down 6 consecutive free throws to tie it up. They did a nice job to put themselves in position, but Reinhardt able to prevail.
Be sure to join us for the men's game next on SCSN and NSBN.